Hello amigos, my name is Jatin and welcome to my channel techyrators. This is my first video and in this video I am talking about Linux as what is Linux, what is OS, what is kernel, why Linux, Windows versus Linux and features of Linux. And in this video I'll try to explain Linux in the best possible way. So before starting the video, please subscribe to my channel techyrators and do hit the bell icon to get all updates of my channel, and also hit the like button if you like my video. So let's get started. So Linux is an operating system like Windows and Mac and other OS, as it works as a operating system for your machine. But Linux is the best known and most used open source operating system and it is made up of kernel. So you know that Linux is an operating system, but what is operating system now? So an operating system is an interface between a computer user and a computer hardware. It performs all basic tasks like file management, memory management, handling input and output, and controlling different devices such as disk drivers and printers. As when computer was invented, there are no OS, there are no operating system, and if you want to run an application, you have to code for it, and that code work like an OS in your machine. And one more thing, that you can't copy your code in different computer to run that app. It is useless because of different hardware configuration. So you have to code separately for different devices to run the same application. But when OS comes in picture, it becomes very easy to run application, games and different software. Let me give you an example. I think you are in a restaurant. So let the owner is your computer. Think that owner is your computer. You are the user and the waiter serving you is the OS. As if you need something, simply tell the OS and they provide you. That's the work of an OS. Now what is kernel? So the kernel is a computer program at the core of a computer OS with complete control over everything in the system. It is an integral part of OS. It is portion of operating system code that is always resident in the memory. It facilitates interaction between hardware and software components. Or we can simply say that in simple form that kernel is the base component of operating system which connects the software and hardware of the system. And many of the devices we probably use as Android phones, camera, digital storage and so on also runs on kernel or also uses kernel. We can change the kernel, but for that we need the root access of that device and the configured source or authenticated source of kernel. Now talk about why Linux over Windows. As both Linux and Windows are a type of operating system and some people prefer Linux or some people prefer Windows. But in my opinion, if you are using a machine for your personal use Windows. It is good for you as it is easy to use. And in case of Linux, it is quite complicated, but when you start using it, it becomes easy to use. So if you are using your machine for professional use, I prefer to use Linux because Linux is better in terms of speed, security and reliability. Let me know why with features of Linux. And first feature is speed. So Linux works fast as compared to Windows because it takes low CPU than Windows, as Linux can easily run in the machine with low storage or RAM. Now the second feature is security. So Linux is considered secure as compared to Windows. As in Linux, root privilege can't be given. In Linux, there are not many viruses that can easily enter in the system, and if any bug enter, there is no chance that the bug can affect the working of the whole system. Now the third feature is reliability, or we can say reliable. Linux is considered more reliable as compared to Windows, as users face less issue in Linux. The next feature we have is the Linux is freely available OS as compared to Windows, which is too costly, and that's why many people are using a cracked version of Windows without knowing the risk of security. But that's not in case of Linux, because you can download original file of Linux from the Linux official website. And one thing, if you are planning to buy a laptop or a computer, I'll suggest you to buy with the DOS operating system, as it is too cheap according to Windows operating system. So you get the laptop of your choice with same configuration but at less price, and later you can install OS of your choice. Now running towards our last feature, that is open source. So Linux is an open source operating system. That means the source code of Linux is available to public to view, edit and contribute, and user can optimize Linux according to their usage, which also enhances security, as if a hacker enter in any Windows machine with the same strategy, he can enter into different Windows machine. But that's not in the case of Linux, because a user can enhance or optimize their Linux with different security level or different configuration. So a hacker, if enter in one Linux machine, now he want to use different strategy to enter in another Linux machine, and different for every Linux machine. That is simple. That made it difficult for the hacker to hack the every machine. So we come to an end. So if you want to install Linux, I'll show you the process of installation in my upcoming video. So stay tuned and thanks for watching my video, and do subscribe to my channel.
Techyrators.